The space station hummed with life. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved through the corridors, their voices mixing in a strange symphony of sounds. Humans were rare here, and one human in particular stood out. His name was Ethan, a diplomat from Earth, sent to negotiate trade agreements. He had never expected his visit to become so complicated. Ethan walked carefully through the market area, glancing at stalls selling glowing crystals, exotic foods, and strange gadgets. He had seen a lot of alien customs, but he thought he understood them, until now. A crowd of guards suddenly parted, and a figure appeared, gliding through the station like she owned it. It was Princess Liara. She was tall, with silver-blue skin that shimmered under the station lights and eyes that seemed to see everything. Rumors said she was strict, proud, and completely unyielding. Yet she was smiling. Not the polite, diplomatic smile, but the kind that made people nervous. "Ethan," she said, her voice clear and commanding. "You have been chosen." Ethan froze. Chosen? For what? He straightened his back. Chosen. Princess Liara? He asked carefully. "Yes," she said, stepping closer. "You are to marry me." Ethan's mind raced. He had read about alien customs, royal engagements, and interstellar alliances. This was unexpected, yes, but not impossible. He had diplomatic training. He could handle this. I am honored, Princess," Ethan said, trying to sound calm. "But you must understand one thing," Liara interrupted, her smile widening almost mischievously. "By galactic law, marrying me is not enough. You must also marry my sister." Ethan blinked. He stared at her, certain he had misheard. "Excuse me?" "My sister Kayla," Liara explained. "Galactic law requires that the chosen human for a royal princess must bond with both sisters. It strengthens the alliance and ensures harmony in our realm." Ethan swallowed hard. He had expected challenges, he had expected politics, but this was a cultural puzzle he could not easily solve. I don't understand," he stammered. "Are you saying I must marry two people?" "Yes," Liara said simply. "It is not negotiable." The crowd that had gathered watched silently. Whispers floated through the air. Some aliens looked shocked, others curious, but no one dared challenge the princess. Ethan rubbed the back of his neck. His mind raced for a diplomatic response. He could not offend her, and he could not appear weak. "Princess Liara," he said carefully, "I respect your traditions. I will try to understand them, but I must admit this is unusual for me." Liara laughed softly, a sound like wind over glass. "You will learn. Come, meet my sister. You will see that she is spirited. She will test you, but she is important. This is not just about law. It is about trust and connection." Ethan nodded, realizing he had little choice. The human ways of thinking would not apply here. He would need to adapt, fast. Liara led him through winding corridors filled with light, panels, and alien artwork. He noticed the guards walked a step behind, as if invisible. Finally, they stopped at a door adorned with intricate carvings that shimmered like water. Liara paused and turned to him. "Are you ready?" she asked. Ethan took a deep breath. "As ready as I can be," he said. Liara opened the door, revealing a room bathed in soft golden light. There, sitting gracefully on a cushioned seat, was Kayla. She looked younger than Liara, but carried a sharpness in her eyes that immediately made Ethan tense. Her skin was the same silver blue as her sister's, but her hair glowed with a violet hue, and her smile was playful, almost teasing. "So you are the human?" Kayla said, her voice smooth but confident. "I've heard about you. Liara says you are clever. We shall see." Ethan bowed slightly. "It is an honor to meet you, Princess Kayla." Kayla tilted her head, studying him. "Honor? I hope your cleverness is more than words. We shall have tests, you know. The law demands it." Ethan swallowed. He had expected diplomacy, maybe some social etiquette. He had not expected tests. "I will do my best," he said, trying to hide his nervousness. Kayla stood and circled him slowly, observing him as if weighing his worth. Interesting, she said finally. Not like the other humans I've seen. You move carefully. You think quickly. Perhaps you are worthy. Perhaps. Liara stepped forward. Kayla will challenge you in many ways. Some will seem trivial, some important. You must remain calm and show your true self. Only then can the bond be complete. Ethan nodded, realizing that this was more than a marriage arrangement. It was a test of character, a challenge he had to pass if he wanted to survive in this alien world. For the first time, he noticed the small details, the subtle tension between the sisters, the way Kayla's eyes sparkled with curiosity, and the way Liara's gaze seemed to measure him constantly. This was not just law. This was about family, loyalty, and intelligence. Kayla crossed her arms. Tomorrow, we begin. You will face the first challenge. Be ready. Ethan swallowed hard, but managed a nod. I will. As he left the room under the watchful eyes of the sisters, he realized something important. This mission, this unexpected engagement, was more than a diplomatic task. It was a test of human ingenuity, courage, and heart. If he could survive, if he could prove himself, he might not only earn their respect, but change the way these aliens saw humans forever. And deep down, he admitted something he would not yet say out loud. He was curious about these sisters, about their world, and about the challenges that awaited. For the first time in his life, he felt that adventure and danger were inseparably linked, and he would face them both. The morning on the palace station was bright and unusual. Light spilled through tall crystal windows, reflecting off polished floors and casting rainbow patterns on the walls. Ethan walked through the corridors with careful steps. Today, he would meet Kayla properly, the sister he was legally bound to marry. He tried to prepare himself. He had diplomatic experience, training in alien cultures, even combat knowledge. But this situation was unlike anything he had faced. He arrived at the private garden, a large dome filled with glowing plants and gentle streams of water. Kayla was there, leaning against a silver tree, her violet hair catching the light. She looked up when she saw him. "You're late," she said teasingly, though her eyes sparkled with curiosity. Apologies," Ethan said, quickly. "The corridors are more confusing than I expected." Kayla laughed, a soft musical sound that made him feel oddly nervous. "I like your honesty. Most humans would make excuses. Walk with me," she said, moving gracefully along a winding path. Ethan followed. He tried to keep his mind focused. This meeting was important. He had to impress Kayla, learn her culture, and, most importantly, survive her tests. "Do you understand why we do this?" Kayla asked suddenly, stopping and looking at him seriously. "I think I do," Ethan replied. "It is part of Galactic law, a tradition to bond with both sisters and to ensure harmony." Kayla shook her head slightly. "That is the official reason. The real reason is trust. My sister and I, we want to know that the human chosen can handle more than just one challenge. We want someone who can adapt, think, and act when things get difficult. Are you that human?" Ethan hesitated. He had faced difficult situations before, but this was personal and emotional, not just physical or diplomatic. He squared his shoulders. "I will try. I cannot promise perfection, but I will not give up." Kayla smiled faintly. "Good. That is all we ask. But you should know, I will push you, I will test you in ways you do not expect." Before Ethan could respond, the first challenge began. Kayla led him to a small courtyard where an alien puzzle awaited. Strange symbols floated in the air, glowing softly, and mechanical panels surrounded them. "This," Kayla said, "is a test of perception and logic. Solve it, and you show me your mind. Fail, and we start over tomorrow." Ethan studied the symbols. They were unlike any he had seen, but the human brain, flexible and curious, quickly analyzed patterns. He began moving panels, adjusting glowing symbols and linking the correct sequences. Kayla watched silently, her arms crossed, her expression unreadable. Minutes passed. Ethan felt sweat on his brow, not from heat, but from concentration. Finally, with a click and a soft hum, the puzzle completed. Symbols flashed green and floated upward, disappearing into the air. Kayla's eyes widened slightly. "Impressive," she said. "You are quicker than I expected. Most fail this step entirely." Ethan allowed himself a small smile. "Thank you, I have experience with problem solving. Humans are adaptable." Kayla nodded. "Yes, I've heard. You are different. I like that. But that is only the first step. Are you ready for the next?" Ethan straightened. "I am ready." She led him to a courtyard with uneven ground and floating platforms. "This is the test of agility and courage," Kayla explained. "You must cross the platforms without falling. Simple? Perhaps. But the trick is, some platforms vanish under pressure, some change position. Watch carefully, think quickly, and act." Ethan studied the platforms. His training in engineering and spatial awareness helped him calculate distances, timing, and balance. He began to move, stepping carefully, leaping when needed. A few platforms wobbled, testing his focus, but he adjusted mid-air, landing safely each time. Kayla watched him, her eyes sharp. "Not bad. You do not panic easily. That is rare among humans. Most would fall immediately." Finally, Ethan reached the last platform. Kayla's lips curved into a small smile. "You passed. I admit I am impressed. You are capable, but..." The next morning, Ethan woke to the soft glow of the palace lights. His mind was still buzzing from yesterday's trials. He had passed the puzzle and agility tests, impressing Kayla. But he knew that the real challenges were only beginning. Layara and Kayla did not seek simple obedience. They wanted a human who could think, act, and adapt. He walked through the garden, the air filled with the scent of strange alien flowers. Kayla was waiting for him, leaning casually against a silver tree. She smiled, a playful but challenging glint in her eyes. "Good morning, human," she said. "Today we test your mind in ways you might not expect. Are you ready?" "I am," Ethan replied firmly. "I want to learn." Kayla nodded. "Good. Follow me." They moved through winding corridors until they reached a large room filled with holographic projections. Lights shifted across the floor, forming a maze of moving walls and platforms. Kayla gestured to the center. "This is your next trial," she said. "You must retrieve the crystal at the heart of the maze and return it safely. Sounds simple, yes? But there are traps. Some paths lead to dead ends. Some platforms will vanish. And there are distractions. Holographic illusions meant to confuse you. You must rely on observation, logic, and timing." Ethan stepped forward, studying the projections. He had faced dangerous environments on his missions, but this was different. The maze was alive, shifting, and unpredictable. His human mind, however, had one advantage: creativity. He took a deep breath and began. Each step required calculation. Each jump demanded balance. When a platform disappeared under him, he adjusted mid-air, catching another with practiced reflex. When illusions appeared, he paused, analyzing patterns, looking for subtle inconsistencies that revealed the real path. Kayla followed silently, her expression unreadable. Every once in a while, she raised an eyebrow, as if testing not just his skill but his patience. Minutes passed. Ethan encountered moments where he thought he would fail. A floating bridge tilted dangerously. A holographic wall tried to trick him into the wrong direction. He paused, breathing slowly, thinking like a human thinker. Sometimes the solution was not strength, but observation. Carefully he moved forward, trusting his instincts. Finally, he reached the crystal at the center of the maze. Its light pulsed softly as if acknowledging his effort. He picked it up carefully, retracing his steps with the same attention to detail. When he returned to the entrance, Kayla stepped forward. "Not bad, human," she said. "You rely on more than just instinct. You think, you adapt. That is rare." Ethan smiled faintly, catching his breath. "Thank you, I've learned to improvise." Kayla's expression softened slightly. You have passed the test, but remember, the law is not only about skill, it is about connection, about understanding each other. Let us see how you handle that. She led him to a small room filled with holographic simulations of alien environments. Some were familiar to the sisters, some completely unknown. This is the test of empathy and decision-making, Kayla explained. You will face choices where you must help others. Not just aliens, but humans and creatures alike. Your actions will show if you understand responsibility and compassion. Ethan nodded, stepping into the simulation. Immediately, he saw a wounded alien child trapped under a fallen beam. Nearby, another being needed assistance with a broken device critical for their survival. Ethan had to decide quickly. He helped the child first, lifting the beam carefully and ensuring the child was safe. Then he turned to repair the device, improvising with parts around him. The simulation reacted dynamically, testing his timing and choices. Kayla watched, impressed. Most humans panic in these situations. You remain calm, deliberate, and compassionate. That is what I like to see. Ethan finished the simulation successfully. He exhaled, feeling relief and a strange sense of pride. He had passed another test, not by sheer strength, but by thinking clearly and acting kindly. Kayla approached him. You're not just clever and brave, you also have heart. That is why you have passed these trials so far. But there is one final challenge today. She led him to the palace balcony. The view was breathtaking. A sea of stars, distant planets, glowing softly, and ships moving like fireflies. This, she said, is the test of trust and courage. You will jump from the platform to the lower level. It seems impossible, but it is not. You must trust yourself and your abilities. Humans often underestimate their own potential. Let us see if you do. Ethan studied the distance. It was wide, terrifying even for someone trained in gravity and physics. But he remembered the other challenges, how he had relied on observation, logic, and adaptation. He took a deep breath, stepped forward, and jumped. Mid-air, he adjusted his trajectory, landing safely on the lower platform. Kayla's eyes widened slightly in admiration. Very good, she said. You face fear and act. That is rare. Humans are unpredictable, yes, but your unpredictability is also your strength. You are learning our ways while staying true to yourself. Ethan smiled, feeling the pride of accomplishment. He had passed the trials of mind, agility, empathy, and courage. He was beginning to earn Kayla's respect, and maybe, in some strange way, her trust. Kayla looked at him for a long moment. Remember, human, these trials are only a beginning. Our bond is not just law. It is understanding, respect, and, yes, trust. If you can continue to show these qualities, perhaps one day you will not just meet the requirements of law, you will earn our admiration. Ethan nodded. I will do my best. I want to understand both of you and your world. I want to show you what humans can do. Kayla's lips curved into a small, approving smile. Very well. Tomorrow we begin another set of trials. Some are more subtle, more personal. But for today you have done well. Rest, human. You will need all your strength. As Ethan returned to his quarters, he felt a mix of relief and anticipation. The trials were difficult, yes, but he was learning, adapting, and proving himself. He had passed tests designed for skill, logic, empathy, and courage. And most importantly, he was starting to gain the trust of Kayla, and by extension, Liara, as well. He looked out at the stars, thinking of the challenges yet to come. The bond required by law was more than a duty. It was a journey, one that would test his mind, body, and heart. And he was ready to face it, step by step, challenge by challenge. For Ethan, the adventure was only beginning, and he could already feel. The next day, Ethan woke with a mixture of excitement and nerves. The palace corridors seemed brighter than usual, almost alive. Today, Kayla and Liara planned to test him in ways beyond strength, intelligence, or agility. Today was about cultural understanding, and he knew it could be far trickier. He arrived at the main hall where Liara awaited him. She stood gracefully, her silver blue skin glowing in the morning light, her eyes sharp as ever. Beside her was Kyla, leaning casually against a column, her violet hair glinting like starlight. "Good morning, human," Liara said. "Today, you will learn something important. Our world is not only about laws and tests. It is about understanding traditions, emotions, and subtlety. Many humans fail here, you must pay attention." Ethan nodded. "I will try my best, princess." Kayla smirked. "Best, huh? We shall see." Liara led him to a large chamber filled with alien guests. They were diplomats, traders, and nobles from many planets, all gathered for a ceremonial feast. The room shimmered with light, and the air smelled of strange, sweet spices. "Your task," Liara explained, "is to interact with these guests, learn our customs, and negotiate a simple agreement. You must show respect, attentiveness, and understanding. Every choice you make will be observed." Ethan swallowed. Social situations were always tricky, but in an alien world, mistakes could be disastrous. He straightened his back and entered the hall. Immediately, a small creature approached him, its many eyes blinking rapidly. "You must drink the ceremonial nectar before speaking," it said. Ethan nodded and carefully took a small cup, tasting the liquid. It was sweet, slightly bitter, and surprisingly refreshing. He handed the empty cup back respectfully. Kayla watched, smiling faintly. "Not bad, you pay attention. That is the first step." As Ethan moved through the room, he encountered a diplomat from a planet famous for its tricky negotiations. The alien smiled and extended a clawed hand. "Human, we hear your species is clever. Can you convince me to trade rare crystals for water supplies?" Ethan thought carefully. He knew persuasion was part logic, part emotion. He explained the value of water for trade, adding examples of human efficiency and reliability. He emphasized cooperation and mutual benefit rather than competition. The alien's eyes widened. "Impressive. You are more than a speaker. You are a thinker." Kayla nudged him lightly. "See? You are beginning to understand. Our culture values thoughtfulness, creativity, and honesty. Not just action, but intention." Ethan smiled, feeling a small surge of pride. These tests were subtle, but he could see why they mattered. Alien societies often misunderstood humans, assuming weakness or simplicity. Yet humans could adapt, improvise, and build trust quickly, something even the sisters seemed to notice. Suddenly, Liara called his attention. "Now, a challenge of diplomacy. One guest will test your reaction under pressure." A tall alien with a stern expression approached. "Human," it said. The palace was unusually quiet that morning. Ethan noticed it immediately as he walked through the corridors. The air felt tense, almost electric, and even the guards seemed on edge. Kayla and Liara awaited him in the council chamber, their expressions serious. "Human," Liara said, her voice steady. "Today will be different. The next trial is not a puzzle, not a maze, and not a social test. Today, you will face a real threat, one that requires courage, quick thinking, and leadership. Are you prepared?" Ethan nodded. "I will do whatever is needed." Kayla's eyes sparkled with a mix of challenge and respect. "Good. Many humans would hesitate, but hesitation can be deadly. Today, you will see why." The sisters led Ethan to the observation deck. Beyond the reinforced glass, the space around the station shimmered with energy. A fleet of unknown ships approached rapidly, their designs sleek, dark, and menacing. Their intentions were clear. They were not here for diplomacy. Liara's hand rested lightly on a control panel. "They demand tribute. If we fail to respond correctly, they will attack. Your task is to help us defend the station while negotiating a peaceful solution. We will observe how you handle pressure, strategy, and initiative." Ethan's heart raced. He had faced dangerous situations on Earth, but this was interstellar diplomacy and battle combined. He studied the fleet, noting their positions, numbers, and movement patterns. First, Ethan said, we must identify their command ship. If we target their leader, we might force them to negotiate. Kayla raised an eyebrow. You are bold. Many would wait for instructions. Are you confident in this plan? Ethan nodded. Confidence comes from observation and analysis. We must act quickly. I suggest a two-step approach: diversion and negotiation. Use the station's defenses to create a safe corridor. Then I will board their ship and propose terms. If they see our strength and logic, they may agree to leave peacefully. Liara exchanged a glance with Kyla. Very well. We will follow your lead, human. But if this fails, I understand, Ethan said firmly. I will not fail. The sisters activated the station's defense systems under Ethan's guidance. Energy shields glowed, turrets rotated into position, and automated drones prepared for evasive maneuvers. The attacking fleet advanced, but Ethan's calculated diversions confused them, splitting their formation. Now, he said, prepare the boarding ship. I will go directly to their command vessel. Kayla stepped forward. You are reckless, human, but perhaps that is what makes you effective. Ethan boarded the ship, navigating through space with precision. The enemy fleet reacted unpredictably, but he adjusted the course carefully, using tactics humans had developed in space exploration. When he reached the command ship, he was met by their leader, a tall, armored alien with sharp eyes and a commanding presence. Human, the alien said, why do you come aboard our ship? Speak quickly. Ethan raised his hands, showing he meant no harm. I come to negotiate, not to fight. Your fleet surrounds the station. We can resist, but destruction will come. To both sides. We can find a solution that benefits everyone. I ask for reason, not battle. The alien studied him carefully. Bold words. Few humans survive this far into our domain. Ethan smiled slightly. Humans survive because we adapt, think, and act together. Let us find a solution that spares lives and shows wisdom. The alien considered this. After a tense pause, it nodded. Very well. We will withdraw, but only if your station demonstrates strength and unity. Convince your allies and show resolve. Ethan returned to the station, coordinating with Liara and Kayla. Together, they demonstrated control over the defenses, displaying precision and coordination. The attacking fleet hesitated, then slowly retreated, acknowledging the station's strength and Ethan's leadership. Kayla's eyes glimmered with admiration. I did not expect this. You did more than survive. You led, adapted, and made decisions under extreme pressure. You are remarkable. Liara nodded. Indeed, humans are underestimated far too often. Your ingenuity, courage, and composure have proven that you are worthy of trust, and perhaps something more. Ethan felt a wave of relief, but also pride. He had faced danger, navigated strategy, and used human qualities to earn the sisters' respect. More importantly, he realized that humans had something unique, an ability to combine intellect, creativity, and empathy, even in impossible situations. After the threat passed, the sisters invited Ethan to a quiet terrace overlooking the stars. The twin moons glowed softly, reflecting on the streams and gardens below. Kayla leaned lightly on the railing. You handled today well, she said. Many would have faltered. Humans are unpredictable, yes, but in a way that is powerful. You showed courage and wisdom. I respect that. Ethan nodded, feeling a sense of accomplishment. Thank you, Princess Kayla. I have learned from both of you, and I hope I continue to earn your trust. Liara stepped forward. You have done more than earn our trust, human. You have shown that humans are capable of more than we ever imagined. You combine strategy, courage, and empathy. These qualities are rare in the galaxy, and they are why you were chosen by law, and why you are starting to earn our admiration. Kayla smiled faintly. Tomorrow brings a different kind of challenge, one that tests understanding, loyalty, and emotion. But for now, rest. You have proven yourself today. Ethan looked at the stars, reflecting on the day's events. The Galaxy was vast and dangerous, but humans had a unique strength: adaptability, ingenuity, and courage. He had faced the threat of battle, acted decisively, and earned the respect of two royal sisters. He realized that these trials were not just about law, tradition, or engagement. They were about showing what humans could do, and proving that even in a world filled with rules, challenges, and danger, human qualities could shine brightly. As the night deepened, Ethan sat on the terrace, looking at the glowing moons. Tomorrow would be another challenge, perhaps more personal and emotional. But he felt ready. Humans thrived in challenges, in uncertainty, and in learning. And he was determined to face whatever came next, side by side with Liara and Kayla, earning their respect, trust, and perhaps even friendship that went beyond law. For the first time, Ethan understood that being human was not just about surviving. It was about rising above expectations, solving impossible problems, and showing the galaxy the strength hidden in a single species. And in that moment, he felt confident. No matter what the next challenge brought, he would rise. He would prove that humans, though small in the cosmos, could make an impact that no alien could ignore. The palace was alive with color and light. Flags from different planets fluttered, holograms shimmered, and the air smelled sweet with exotic flowers. Today was the day of the ceremonial wedding. Ethan had faced countless challenges, proved his courage, intelligence, and empathy, and now the final step awaited him. Liara and Kayla stood together, their regal presence radiant. Liara's silver-blue skin shimmered in the sunlight, while Kayla's violet hair glowed softly. Both sisters wore ceremonial robes adorned with jewels that reflected the stars. Ethan felt nervous, but also proud. He had earned their trust and admiration. "Human," Liara said, her voice calm but commanding. "Today is not only about law. It is about connection, understanding, and respect. You have proven yourself in every trial. Now you will demonstrate your commitment in a way that reflects your humanity and our traditions." Ethan nodded. "I understand, Princess. I am ready." Kayla stepped forward, her eyes warm yet challenging. "You have faced puzzles, tests, and even danger. Today, we see if your heart matches your mind and courage. Remember, human, sincerity matters more than perfection." The ceremony began in the central hall. Guests from countless worlds filled the space, curious and respectful. Ethan's human qualities had already earned admiration among many species, and whispers of approval echoed through the crowd. A ceremonial elder approached, holding a crystal staff. "By galactic law," the elder announced, "this union binds the human to Princess Liara and Princess Kayla, ensuring harmony, trust, and alliance between species. Let the bond be witnessed by all." Ethan stepped forward, keeping his posture respectful. Liara and Kayla each took one of his hands. He looked into their eyes, remembering the trials, the tests, the moments of doubt and triumph. He thought of their guidance, their sharpness, and their subtle smiles that had encouraged him even in the hardest times. "I accept this bond," Ethan said clearly, "not only because the law requires it, but because I respect and value both of you. I will honor this connection, learn from it, and protect it with my abilities, my mind, and my heart." Liara's lips curved into a small, approving smile. "Your words carry weight, human. You speak with honesty and understanding. That is rare and admirable." Kayla's eyes sparkled. "You have proven that humans are more than what we expected. You are brave, clever, and sincere. Today you show that you are capable of respect and commitment. I approve." The ceremonial elder raised the staff, and a soft glow enveloped the three of them. The energy of the palace seemed to hum, acknowledging the union. Guests watched silently, impressed by the human's composure and the sisters' grace. After the formalities, the elder stepped back. "The bond is complete. May it bring harmony, friendship, and prosperity." Ethan released a small breath he hadn't realized he had been holding. He looked at Liara and Kayla, noticing subtle emotions in their expressions.